Coming soon to theaters.
In Dublin next arrived, I thought it such a pity to be so soon deprived of view of that fine city. Well then I took a stroll, all among the quality bundle it was stole, all in a neat locality. Something crossed me mind, when I looked behind, no bundle could I find. Upon me sake a wobbling, inquiring for the road, said me Connacht road wasn't much in vogue. On the rocky road to Dublin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hut the hare and Turner down the rocky road, all the way to Dublin, whack for Lully-Ra. From there I got away, me spirits never failing, landed on the quay just as the ship was sailing. The captain at me roared, said that no room had he. When I jumped aboard, a cabin found for Paddy. Down among the pace, played some bonny rakes, danced some hearty jigs, the water round me bubbling. When up Holyhead, wished myself was dead, or better far instead. On the rocky road to Dublin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hunt the hare and Turner down the rocky road, all the way to Dublin, whack for Lully-Ra. When we safely landed, called myself a fool, I could no longer stand it, blood began to boil, temper I was losing, poor old Aaron's Isle, they began abusing. Hurrah me so, says I'm a shillelagh, I look like Galway boys were nigh, and so I was a hobbling with the loud hooray, joined in the affray, we quickly cleared the way for the rocky road to Dublin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hut the hare and Turner down the rocky road, all the way to Dublin, whack for Lully-Ra. Hut the hare and Turner down the rocky road, all the way to Dublin, whack for Lully-Ra, whack for Lully-Ra, whack for Lully-Ra.
Next time, I choose the vacation spot.
You got it.
Someplace in the Mediterranean.
Sounds good.
You know, sort of Rome, but less crowded.
I'm with you.
I know. Pompeii.
Pompeii it is.
And now, our feature presentation.
Yummy people! I see yummy delicious people! I see lots of delicious people!
What are you trying to do? Well, here's another nice mess you've gotten me into.
Well, I could not the doctor set me up to get a blood transfusion. I look like you now, and you look like me, and I know what to do. I'm coming.
Shut up and come on.
And now, our feature presentation.
Important animals in the seas of mid-Paleozoic times were the fishes. Fish are vertebrates, animals with backbones. More suited to life on the land were air-breathing amphibians, living both in the water and on the land, The amphibians were part of the world of plants and insects of Paleozoic times. By the end of the Coal Age, air-breathing lizards had appeared. With the coming of these reptiles, the long Paleozoic era was drawing to a close. The next era, the Mesozoic, is often called the Age of Reptiles. It was a time of tremendous volcanic eruptions. Of all the life on the land, the lizards were among the animals that survived the violent upheavals.
This one had a name longer than a snake-like body, Parasaurolophus, meaning crested lizard. And these ostrich dinosaurs, though unrelated to any birds, were bird-like even in drinking.
This one had thick armor-like plates along its back and was about the size of an elephant.
Stegosaurus, the lizard with a roof, carried bony plates like giant shingles. And although he had two brains in head and tail, he was very stupid.
Such huge plant-eating dinosaurs were often attacked by vicious flesh-eating reptiles.
Some grew into huge swamp lizards, like the dinosaur Diplodocus, who was the longest animal ever to walk the earth. Though for all his wonderful frame, he was almost brainless.
Some dinosaurs, such as the Brontosaurus, were enormous. They grew to be as long as 70 feet, the size of a house. One could weigh as much as 25 tons, the weight of 12 automobiles. Then there was Tyrannosaurus, a vicious meat eater that grew as long as 50 feet. His huge head was mostly mouth, filled with knife-like teeth. His short forelimbs were of little use to him, and he was so slow that he probably could catch only old or sick animals for food.
Brontosaurus was one of the largest dinosaurs. When he walked, his footsteps must have sounded like thunder. In fact, his name means thunder lizard. He was a harmless animal. He only ate plants.
Against this foe, his hope is already gone. Is all creation helpless? Can nothing slay this tyrant? Is he to rule the earth forever?
Hunting on land, Spinosaurus is also forced into direct competition with any large predators living in the same environment. Contests over carcasses are common. But outcomes of such fights are far from guaranteed. Risk of injury for big animals is acute. More than 3 meters longer, Spinosaurus has size and power on its side. This time, the Spinosaurus triumphed.
Triceratops belonged to a group of dinosaurs called horn faces. He was the largest of these, and any other animal would hesitate to attack him.
Like most reptiles, dinosaurs reproduce by laying eggs.
But chiefly, it was the age of the dinosaurs, of the great land lizards who specialized in armor, and those who depended on speed and ferocity. Their varieties seemed endless.
Not all dinosaurs were big. Some were no bigger than chickens. Coelophysis was a flesh eater about 8 feet long.
The names themselves are exciting. Pterodactyls, Stegosaurus, Monoclonius. They're just fun to say. The words themselves become pictures. You look at these fossilized bones and you say the words and you can see into their world, a world that's not unlike the animal kingdom of today. Mating calls, nest building, laying of eggs, and the dramatic and suspenseful battle to survive.
Another horn face, Monoclonius, developed a single horn on his snout, much like the present-day rhinoceros.
Occasionally failed it, especially when matched by that of the Deinonychus. The Deinonychus, Greek for terrible claws, were fierce creatures that weighed less than 200 pounds. They may have traveled in hunting packs like wolves today. Their speed and their dreaded claws made them fearsome enemies. He was called Tyrannosaurus rex, the tyrannical king lizard. He was carnivorous, a voracious meat eater. His teeth were designed for one function and one function only, to tear flesh from bones. He was probably slow and awkward, and so some scientists think that he, like his relative, the Gorgosaurus, may not have been an effective hunter. He might have been a giant scavenger. Well, the chances are that he was both. One thing seems certain, though. He was a loner, and the rest of his kingdom lived in fear of him.
18 feet tall, 40 feet long, the Tyrannosaurus rex had powerful hind legs that could propel him forward relentlessly. It is the violent Tyrannosaurus rex and other meat-eaters like the Ceratosaurus and the Allosaurus that have been so strongly impressed in our imaginations. The roaring and the screaming of the primordial titans continues to echo across the years to remind us that we would have only been 2 quick bites to a Tyrannosaurus rex.
Not many dinosaurs could escape the sharp teeth of Tyrannosaurus rex. His name means King Tyrant Lizard, and he was a ferocious beast.
Through millions of years, some have come to look like weird, ungainly birds, the pterodactyls. As yet, there are no true birds with feathered wings. Pterodactyl wings are merely membranes that connect long toes.
Others sprouted featherless wings and took to the air. Such was the lizard Pteranodon, whose wingspread of 27 feet was the largest in history.
Pachycephalosaurus lived about 70 million years ago. It was a strange-looking dinosaur with an odd dome-shaped head. Its skull was very thick, about 8 inches of bone on top and spiky bones around the edges. This is how it got its name, which means thick-headed lizard. Underneath all that bone, however, was a very small brain. This dinosaur was not very intelligent. Paleontologists still don't really know what these creatures did with their hard heads. At first they believed that Pachycephalosaurus used their heads to butt each other the way bighorn sheep do when they are trying to attract a mate. But after studying the skull carefully, paleontologists know that it was not solid bone. It wasn't even very strong. If 2 Pachycephalosaurus tried to butt heads, they would almost certainly hurt each other badly. Now we believe that they rammed into other dinosaurs' sides. They probably rammed hunting predators when there was nowhere left to run. Pachycephalosaurus was a bipedal dinosaur, meaning that it walked on 2 legs. It was not a very fast runner. It probably held its heavy head close to the ground. It may have walked on all 4 legs while it was looking for food.
Allosaurus is the most common killer in these lands. 9 meters long, with a battery of saw blade-like teeth and powerful clawed forearms. Allosaurus is a formidable hunter. Allosaurus' teeth were serrated front and back, perfectly evolved for tearing through flesh. However, recent research has indicated that Allosaurus' bite was surprisingly weak. Calculations suggested its bite was less powerful than a lion's, despite being 7 times more massive. Allosaurus is a fast and powerful ambush hunter. Despite the apparent weakness of its bite, Allosaurus did in fact have a deadly killing method. Its skull could withstand a force more than 15 times as great as its bite. This meant that Allosaurus used its head like an axe, its strong neck muscles driving its top jaw into its prey. With every impact, the serrated teeth would tear through its prey's flesh.
The Ankylosaurus was a living tank. Ankylosaurus means stiffened lizard. His back was tough armor.
But the fierce dinosaurs were not the only reptiles on the Earth. Reptiles with great webbed wings, related to prehistoric birds, were also part of the Mesozoic era.
The first dinosaurs were very small. The best known of the fossil reptiles are the dinosaurs, whose name means terrible lizard. There were 2 groups of these: Saurischia, with reptile-like hip bones, and Ornithischia, with bird-like hip bones. Dinosaurs varied in size from 1 foot to 90 feet, but many were large. The bird-hipped Ornithischians developed into many different kinds of dinosaurs.
Many became quite large and all fed on plants. Many dinosaurs traveled on their hind legs. Even the dinosaurs who walked on 4 feet had short front legs. Dinosaurs which spent most of their time in the water were usually inactive and sluggish. Land forms were much more active and could travel rapidly. Many dinosaurs had a strong armor for defense. Others protected themselves by using their strong teeth. Bony horns were a protection for others. Some used large, sharp claws to attack enemies. The large size was always an excellent protection.
2 trillion metric tons of rock is headed straight for them. As it gets closer to the planet, the Earth's gravitational pull gets stronger, causing the asteroid to accelerate at more than 70,000 kilometers per hour. The scorching light sears their eyeballs. They now can't see what's headed their way, but they can feel it. The asteroid hits with an explosive force of 100 trillion metric tons, more than 1 billion times the power of the bombs dropped on Hiroshima.
On impact, boulders the size of buildings blasted into the air at supersonic speeds. The ground shakes as the 11.1 earthquake ripples through the ground. But the worst is still to come. This is the ejecta cloud, a 15,000-degree dust cloud heating up everything beneath it. And it's spreading fast. The asteroid has awakened a series of plagues on the planet. Firestorms, earthquakes, sandstorms, and towering tsunamis. Across the continents, thousands of dinosaurs may be walking, but their species are already dead. Because to survive, any species needs to maintain a critical mass of population. Fall below that threshold, and there's no way to climb back from certain extinction. But it's millions of years before one very important species branches off. They walk on 2 legs, evolve bigger brains, and eventually rule the planet, just as the dinosaurs once did. But unlike them, they'll reshape the world, building cities that touch the sky, vehicles that can leave the planet, and weapons that can destroy it. But none of it could have been possible if a chance collision in space 165 million years ago hadn't sent an asteroid hurtling toward Earth and doomed the dinosaurs to extinction. Only because they died can human beings live.